Well, hello everyone, this is Wilson coming to you with my game of Dungeon Crawler Unbound. And you know what? I'm coming to you humbly because I've already tried to do this video, and in fact a video series, an instructional video series on how to play this game, and I kind of failed at it. I left it on Board Game Geek and on my YouTube channel because, well, simply because I thought it might be of value still for somebody, but it was pointed out right away that I made a mistake, and frankly, it was a pretty bad mistake, kind of amateurish, and I'm hoping not to do that again. And so I'm pretty much going to start over, and instead of calling this an instructional video, let's just call it a session. And if we have some good conversation around that, well, then that would be just dandy with me. I'm trying a different format here. I'm not using my GoPro anymore. It was a little cramped, a little crowded. I realize the cards are a little bit dark and they do pick up, that is to say, not very well, usually on a lot of backgrounds. So I'm trying this thing here and to see if I can get a better perspective. I'm going to even try a different sort of a layout. I've got my crawler cards here, I've got my dungeon cards here, and I'll do disc cards here so that you should be able to see them. I'm going to build my dungeon here insofar as it will fit. Lots of dungeons get pretty big, so I might quickly outgrow this. And then I've got my characters up here, or I should say my adventures. So I've got the Barbarian Berserker once again, followed by the Keldornan Cleric, the Wood Elf Wizard. Actually, let's switch that. There we go. The Gypsy Thief and the Wood Elf Wizard. That's the order I like. Those are the characters I like. They've got a good amount of life points to sustain me for a little while. I'm going to stick with the same 3 quests as well. Much as I had some good conversations with some people about the stars align, I know for a fact that in my 80 card dungeon pack I've got Green Knee, and I also have the Mastermind card. So there's an opportunity that exists to be able to fulfill this quest. Otherwise it actually might be really hard to do the stars align. In my first video I was quite excited, again embarrassingly so, because I thought I had done this quest, but I had busted my encounter limit, and for some reason I kept playing. So that was a bad mistake. Anyway, we'll play the Stars Align. We'll also play the Den of Evil and Evil Has a Name. Sorry for that little glare. I'm just using a little extra little spotlight on the camera. I'll try to get around it from time to time. Okay, so the quest cards are actually going to go to the side, and because of the angle of things, you're not going to be able to see them. I'm caught between getting a close enough perspective of the cards so you can kind of see what they are, and then I can actually occasionally kind of zoom in on the dungeon like this, versus having a greater field of vision and more obscurity in the cards. So we've gone for this balance, and I hope you guys won't object. Okay, I think it's cleaned up a little bit. We shall begin. Both decks are shuffled. I hope you believe me with that, and we'll draw 5 off the top. Wooden Shield, yes, that's familiar, love it. Okay, backpack, or excuse me, belt pouch. I might turn this light off here, 1 second. I've got the light on. I don't think that's working out, too much glare. We'll try the belt pouch and see how that goes. And then we go from there to belt pouch isn't that helpful right now. Defend, so it's a +1 stamina per active ally, and a short sword, a little bit of offense, a little bit of defense. Okay, right away, and counterattack. So this is getting me, this is going to do well for me right away. A little bit of offense, a little bit of defense. Exactly what I want. Okay, there's my hand. So let's drop the dungeon. A kobold. All right, so he's got stealth, and he gives a bonus to traps. So you can see how I'm laying them out here. The Dreadlander Mercenary, all right, so he has a little black arrow, which means I have to immediately do what he's asking. And what he is asking for is a lock. So here is my lock token. All right, and now this part's not going to be great for your purposes, but I'm going to put a lock token. I should have like a paper clip or something, but anyway, there's a lock token on the Barbarian Berserker. You can actually see it if I move it over like that. You can kind of see it. Okay, so we have a dungeon right now with a power of 2, or that is to say a stamina of 2. All right, the spider, all right, does the same thing with her web. She, with the snare 1, I can either discard a card or I can activate the first person in line. And I'm going to discard the belt pouch because I just don't need it at this point. It's too early in the game. So there you can see how I'm choosing to do that. So there's my discard for that. I could put it like that, I suppose, as long as you guys can see. So the dungeon has a power of 3. We keep drawing. And a dungeon power of 5. So that's perfect when we with the spear trap. Harm of 7. Okay, so there we go. The total stamina right now in the dungeon is 0 from the kobold, and we have 1 from the Dreadlander mercenary, and 0 from the giant gray spider, and 0 from the spear trap. So all we need is 1 to land a hit. The kobold and the giant gray spider both have stealth, so my target is the Dreadlander mercenary. That's how stealth works. And I believe I will simply activate a character. You have to activate a character to attack anyhow, so there's no point in playing a card and activating like 2 characters. I just need 1. So the cleric activation is going to be a bit funky too, because boop, he almost disappears on you. Actually, it's not bad, is it? I guess he doesn't disappear. So there we go. There is those 2 guys this guy rather took care of the Dreadlander mercenary. A wound goes on him, and so he is discarded. So we'll discard him over here. Now that he's discarded, I have to deal with the attack from this motley crew, and the spear trap is probably part of it that's not doing me a lot of help. Okay, so what do I need to do? Well, traps gain +1 power because of the kobolds. That means this is an 8. It's attacking me with an 8, and a 3 is a 9, 10, 11, and the kobold himself is 12, 13. That's a lot that I probably can't overcome. 1, 2, 3, and 4 is 7, and 6 is 13. Oh, yes, I can. I can just overcome this. This is kind of fun. All right, so I'm going to play Defend, and Defend says that I get +1 stamina per active ally, all right? So keep in mind, all of my allies, I think that's what it means, per active ally. I'm assuming it means characters, or excuse me, adventurers. So we're assuming that all of these adventurers, or we're not assuming, they are active. So even though he has been activated, he's not locked. Oh, my Barbarian Berserker. But actually, you know what? Even though she's locked, she hasn't been activated. Oh, I hate running into questions already. I think I can activate her. Even though she's locked, she's not activated. So here's what we need to do. +1 stamina per active ally. So I think and I hope I can include her. Gee, I don't know. I could be doing this again. I could be doing this wrong right away. Oh, all right. You're going to have to answer my question on Board Game Geek or YouTube, but I'm going to pretend that she's going to be okay. So I'm going to say that's 1, 2, 3, 4 because of this card. So I play this card out, and then I'm going to activate everyone. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, not 8, but 7. And then I get the wood shield, and I get to boost the wood shield. So 7 and 6 is, bazinga, 13. So I have defended myself against this dungeon. Now, as long as I played that defend card right, let me know whether I did or not. So here's what I see happening. Discard, discard, discard. And this dungeon is done. Now, the Barbarian, well, let's reactivate everybody. But as you know, the Barbarian Berserker has a lock on her. So the lock comes off, but she now cannot activate. All right, that's how locks work. Okay, cross our fingers that I did something right that time. So we draw back up. 1, 2, 3, striding strike. Okay, all right. 4, rope and grapple. Not my favorite card. And 5. Okay. Yeah, this isn't too soon for the backpack, right? Okay. Mind you, I do like the shield, and shield's one of my favorite things. And so, where does shield go? Oh, forgot to discard. The wooden shield is a favorite, so I can probably get rid of this just to get a wooden shield. So that, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Let's see what the dungeon looks like. Okay, dungeon. Let's have a look. An ambush. Oh, excellent. So I can't use tactics. Let me just do a quick check here, see if I have any tactics. I don't. So ambush is a good card to get right now because it adds 2 to the dungeon. And ruins, +2 to characters and adventures with stealth and ignore flight. Bonus from ranged attack and throw and blah blah blah, reduced to 0. Skeleton, I love the undead. I love fighting the undead. He's got a melee harm, so he'll come at me with harm, and he adds nothing to the dungeon. And no stamina either. And falling stones, my arch enemy, because it has an area attack of 4, which means that even though it's just a collapsing tunnel, all of my characters will have to defend against 1. And I just want to look and see if there's any bonuses to that, because when the Falling Stones has bonuses, it's really hard to defend against that, and usually everyone ends up with a wound. Okay, I have a feeling I'm going to be using Backpack to go after the shield, but let's just see what it looks like. The only character in the dungeon that I need to go after right now is the skeleton, and that's not going to be an issue at all. So, in order to attack, I need to... Let's have the cleric. He's good at fighting undead. So the cleric will activate, which means he's going to go on the O, and he's going to put a wound on the skeleton. Skeleton has no stamina to withstand that attack, and the skeleton is dead. So that means now I have to, let me see, there was no, that's the ambush amounts to nothing. +2 power, so there's no stamina bonuses in the ruins. Okay, we're fine. So now we have to deal with the Falling Stones, which has an area 4 attack, and this is going to be tricky. Okay. Remove all locks from an adventurer caused by trap or train cards. Okay, I don't have any locks anymore. Aha. Here we go. This might be helpful. So if I win an adventure or combat, I activate a character of your choice. Now, I've always found this card confusing because if I understand the vernacular of the game correctly and the definitions and so forth, what this is trying to say is that if I've just won, so win an adventure or combat, I'm an adventurer, and then it says activate a character of your choice. So characters are usually monsters, but I'm thinking Striding Strike means win an adventure or combat and activate sort of any character of your choice or any adventure of your choice. I don't know why I would want to activate a character like a werewolf or something that has been activated in its frenzy attack and reactivated. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play Striding Strike, and I'm going to activate the Berserker. All right, then I'm going to use the backpack. There's a lot of stuff you can do with the backpack as a permanent and blah, 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 but I'm just going to use the backpack to get the wooden shield. So discard the backpack, pull back the wooden shield that's in there, and this will give me some extra stamina. All right. Yep, this is all I'm going to need. Well, it's not. This is all I can do. Whether or not this will succeed or not, we'll see. Okay, so I have to defend against 1. Everyone has to defend against 1. All right. So someone's going to take a hit here. Okay, so she defends against the Falling Stones. He defends against the Falling Stones. So that leaves these two guys. Can he, this is a question, can he defend against the Falling Stones for himself, but at the same time, in defense, give this shield to the cleric? I'm going to say yes. Okay, so because the cleric cannot activate in order to defend himself, he's going to use the shield with a bonus of the stamina. So in my estimation, I have successfully defended against the Falling Stones in the ambush that was laid for me in the ruins. All right, here's hoping. Okay, so we've started over. Let's reactivate our lads. And come join me next time as I disperse a new dungeon and hope that this series of Unbound dungeon crawler will go better than the first. All right, thanks for watching. I'm Wilson. Wish me luck.